And
Try to keep it. Yeah, try to keep everything in a block. It doesn't matter. It's okay. You can handle it. But
try with this hand. Okay, that's stable here.
yeah, try not to touch the board itself with your hand because it will start hurting otherwise after a while. It's cool. You're good.
I like the methods that you show me with this hand to be.
Yeah, that's a stable hand. It's very important for the left and the right hand. They do different things, and you can let them work together like one, but it is still different techniques that they're both doing. Learn them separately and let them work together later on.
Still not centered.
So have you an idea what you're going to do?
I would like to try the cylinder first.
Okay, yeah. So one cylinder out of this, okay.
Yeah. But I think it's not centered yet.
No, then go ahead. Yeah. Center it as much as you like.
And tell me, does it matter if it's like perfectly centered, or is it like when it's like
well,
this?
When it's not centered and you put the hole in it, your wall is not going to be even,
okay.
And it will be very hard to pull up. So you can flatten the top as well. You can also put your thumb around the other thumb, like make it a unity.
Oh yeah, because it's also stable.
Yeah, that's the second S. It's a slippery, and then stability. And the third S is speed.
Ah, okay. So the third one we have to still get.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's time for the hole. I think. I don't know. I did it.
Gently. Just let your thumb feel the middle. And think about slip. You have a lot of slip here. You can also reuse the slip on the wheel. Because the more wet the clay gets, the harder it will be to have a stable form.
That's a good idea.
You can kind of, when you have a hole, you can also scrape it off your hands and drop it in, but it's not yet. Just do your thing. I always talk too much. So.
No, but it's good.
What I like to do is to keep it small in the beginning. And when I come down to the bottom where I want to be, I kind of go inwards. So the hole is like this. And from there, I kind of pull up.
Okay. Let me try.
Yeah. So don't make it too wide in the beginning. Don't pressure. If you're pressing, you might just need a little bit more water. Take it off your hands, like this. Yeah.
That's also a good thing for me to know because I never know.
But not the clots, not the bits of clay. Just throw them in the bucket. Yeah. Just to slip. Don't use too much pressure. Just use more a point, like the point of your thumb. Like if you put a matchstick through a material, it's very hard. But if you put a needle through, it goes very easy.
Oh, okay. So it's like.
Yeah.
Less touch. Yeah, less touching.
And just think about the slip. If it's slippery enough and a pointy touch. Often the mistake is that there's much too much contact with the clay. You think about 1.5 centimeter above the wheel you can stop. If you don't know what it is, I have a needle for you. So there's a needle tool in here. I guess somewhere. There's so many tools. They're cheap tools too.
You get them
everywhere. I got them online. So I got some good tools, but it's all mixed together. I have to kind of make a selection what I want to work with. Tools are important. What is this? There's another tool. If you want to use it.
Yeah. I think I'm still far because I think 1.5 will be more or less when I'm here.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's already good.
Yeah, so you don't press with a broad part, but press with the point of your thumb. You just go in and you turn the thumb inwards.
It's very good advice because before I was just doing something, but now it's also I feel when I put my thumb top, it's getting easier. Let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Check with the needle. I think it's still not that.
It's because of the movement.
Yeah, it's still far.
Yeah, no, but you don't have to check it yet. You can just pull it now outward. And you pull this outward straight towards the side like this. And you can still make it a little thinner later if you want.
Yeah.
Think about the speed.
Yeah, what do you normally do with these clumps of clay? Put them in the wheel, just.
Yeah, well, if it's slip, I reuse, and if it's clumps, I normally tap it on here or something. Doesn't matter.
Try to pull it.
You're not pulling yet. Okay. Don't pull it. So now you want to check now the depth. How deep is it? Check if it's too deep.
I think so. Yeah, it's still.
It is a bit deep. Yeah. Yeah. I maybe make it a bit less. Just go once more. I just let that happen. Where are you from, Agatha?
I'm from Poland originally. And I kan ook Nederlands een beetje praten.
Heel goed, dat is mooi.
Ja, ik begrijp wel, maar spreken is niet zo makkelijk voor mij. Maar ik spreek ook Duits. Ik spreek heel goed Duits. En dus it's easier to understand Dutch for me than speaking. Because sometimes when I speak Dutch, I say some German words and people are like, oh, what? But yeah.
You're not in Germany.
Yeah, I'm not in Germany, definitely. But I try to, now I want to really, ik wil graag nu echt Nederlands praten.
Kijk op je handen.
Ja.
Dus zo. En dan de andere. En dan even dit. En dan zo in het bakje. Nee, in het bakje.
In deze bakje?
Reuse the slip.
Okay.
But not if it's clump. If it's
Ah,
a clump, then you
then
just take
throw
it up.
away.
It's normally slip on your hands.
Ah,
You just reuse that. That's much better than wetting the clay all the time.
ah, yeah. Yes, because it's getting
Yeah.
very.
So when you're at the right depth,
Uh-huh.
then you can start to flatten and compress the bottom.
Let me check.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Flatten and compress the
Yeah.
bottom. Okay, then.
And then you have to now start thinking about what shape you would like to make from the cylinder. Is it going to be a bowl or a mug or a can? Because it's different bottom. So you have to think this is when you're doing the bottom. So if you want a bowl, this is nice shape. But if you want a mug, then you have to take this corner more square.
Okay. I would like to do just maybe to challenge myself, like something very straight here and straight inside. So
Okay,
not with
that's good.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
have to take it now. You have to make the corner there. Not very straight, but it has to be the shape of. It shouldn't come up.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. So maybe would you like to know different techniques for this?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what I normally do is I kind of I use one hand and push against my hand when it's still low. I can do this, and then I can very easily just scrape the corner and then pull it in like that. And when it's in, then I can push it inwards again, and with my finger on here, pull it upwards.
And it doesn't matter which hand, right? Or just one or just one?
Yes, it does, because you're turning this way. It should be turning this way. Okay, so always let the clay pull. If you start to push the clay, it's not going to work. So you always let it pull your hand.
Okay. Sometimes the slip is getting too clumpy.
Make it a little wetter. Or, yeah, you can. It's not bad to get. It has to be slippery enough, but not too wet.
Let's just try then.
Go a little faster. Okay, you see that your hand is moving a bit, so you have to stabilize it. And just make it in a smooth movement. You make the movement. It's not the clay that dictates, it's you. You say, okay, this is the movement that I'm making.
Still a bit.
It's good. It's
afraid
good.
of this clay that I think it still controls me more.
It won't bite. There is no control. It's just working together.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, it looks good. So when you want to start pulling it up, it's a bit broad. As soon as you start pulling it up, it gets wider and wider to the top. So it's good to make your hands wet and to start pushing the whole thing smaller from both sides. Yeah. Just compress it, make it smaller. Not too fast, just let it go. Don't force it. Just let it's the turning is the time that you that like you always press softly. If you turn slowly, it's going to take a lot of time. But you always press softly, and then when you turn faster, when you speed up, that you are speeding up time because the pressure is the same. So you're pressure pointing more parts of this clay.
So so nothing is.
So you never change your pressure. Pressure is always the same as stability. I mean, you can, of course, if you want to do different things, but
not too forced.
Yeah, your pressure is a constant, and your speed is a variable. Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So now you can drag one time again. You can compress with your thumb the bottom, like I would do like this, you know, like just with the side of your finger, you go to the edge. Just compress it that it's, if it's too wet, then it's going to crack the bottom.
And when you compress, you press a
Yeah,
bit,
with
right?
with like this.
Yeah.
Not hard, but with so much material of your thumb. You can use a tool. I have a tool for you if you want. Somewhere. It has 3 holes. You can also compress. It's very nice for balls, but for a square cylinder, it's maybe not good to pull up with, but you can do the bottom with it if you like. A friend of mine makes this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does he have a like web shop or?
Yeah, he has an Etsy shop, and I'll give you his YouTube channel because he is super. I learned most of what I know from him.
Oh yeah, is he from Amsterdam or
No,
something?
he lives in America.
Oh wow, okay.
Never go over the center. Eh?
Okay. So only from the sides.
Yeah. Start in the center, but never over the center. Okay, that's a good compression. Yeah. It makes it the clay doesn't crack when you bake it.
Oh yeah, yeah, because then if it's the water and it just dries, there's maybe air inside or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
You want to get rid of that, yeah. And you can give your hands a clean too if there are lumps on it. This doesn't work so nice. Dirty towel. If you want.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
I think I'm
yeah,
fine.
okay.
Yeah. Now I would like to maybe make the walls thinner. You think it's a
Well,
good
you
plan?
don't make the walls thinner. That's not necessary, but you can pull it up.
Oh yeah, true. So I pull up. I think with this. I think I need to just take it somehow up, right? Like
Okay. Shall I?
Maybe.
I'm not going to do it.
No.
But so what I do, I go in. I place my fingers in, and I place this one under the fingers.
Okay.
And then the clay is going to move like an S over it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah, and this one has to be stable. Yeah. So you can pull it up, but it has to be stable, and there's something else. I always kind of let them interconnect. I mean, strong. They have to be one. Yeah. Or like this. It doesn't matter. So I can. Okay. So now you have your finger like this. You need it like this. Like this. Now you still like this. Up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can let go. You can also put it on your leg. It has to be. It has to have stability. Yeah.
Because it's still controlling the.
Okay.
Yes.
Just for your finger. Okay. So now I want you to try it just with one finger on both sides. With one finger. Yeah. And you don't have to make this clay move a lot. You don't have to take clay. Just for the feeling. Interconnect. Just one finger. Just let it speed up a little. Is it slippery enough?
Not really, but I think what I get
Maybe
what you mean with the S.
Water,
yeah. Because it's like S, like from here to here.
Yeah, indeed. So connect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're not pulling it up. You're not pulling. They call it pulling up the wall, but it's never pulling. What you are doing, you are compressing. And by compressing, you are pushing the wall.
Because
because you're pushing the clay together, so the clay, the lump which you're pushing up, it starts moving upwards.
Okay.
So you need a little speed for that. Yeah. You just let it go a little faster, and you just feel that every time, like on a record, you go one groove up. Keep your stability. This is your stability hand. Huh? I didn't say you didn't have the stability, but connect. That's good, good.
Not wet enough, but
make it wet enough, yeah. Sure. And make the clay a little wet with everything, you know, just smooth it out so it gets slippery. Yeah. If it gets dry, start pulling the clay up.
Yeah. It's too hard.
Okay, so now that was for the feeling with just one finger. Of course you can use, but don't use too much of your fingers. More the finger tops. Like the less contact, the better. Because actually, what is happening, this big fat piece of clay, it is going round, right? So when you're pushing it, one part gets a little bit thinner. So then it starts to and then it starts to move upwards. But then you're making a groove, and when you do the whole thing, it's a very broad groove, and it's very hard to control. But when it's very pointy, then it's much easier because you just go slowly up. Just let the wheel do the movement, and bring it in again a little. Make it a bit straight. Yeah, you can put your thumb over to make the side nice. You feel if the wall is even. Okay. So yeah, from here you can pull it up again. But one advice: always pull all the way, because if you get a thinner part here at the bottom and thicker at the top, you might kind of lose your balance. So try to pull it in one go. So always make sure it's slippery enough for what you want to do. Divide the slip over the pot before you apply pressure. There you go. And go inwards, that way, to the center, not outwards. What's happening with your finger?
They are not stable.
Try to connect your hands together, yeah. And just don't apply too much pressure. Just show where you want the clay to go. And you want to, while you're compressing it, you want to push the whole thing a bit more to the inside, because otherwise it goes too wide. So now you see that one side has gone higher, and this is because the wall is at one side, it's a bit thicker. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You can try to pull it up in a constant way.
Quite a new feeling for me, so it's a little bit confusing, but I think I got what we try to do here.
Okay.
Well,
it's okay.
Yeah. When these things happen, is it still possible to correct it?
Look, when it happens,